Hey guys, in today's video, I want to talk about not living in the Philippines full-time, but maybe even being like a snowbird or living in various countries throughout the year and maybe just having one home base. Stick around, we're going to discuss it. All right, guys, so with recent events, I've done a lot of thinking about different things, and now that I will need to be spending much more time in the US, and I would like to take some adventures. You know, I had a friend who invited me to Thailand to do a big motorbike tour, and another friend who said, hey, we could do Vietnam. And so all these different things are coming through my head about maybe just making the Philippines a home base and then traveling around. Now, you could do this with various countries here. Now, Vietnam's probably not the best because you can only do 90 days and you got to go out and back in. And Thailand, you could do it. Cambodia, places like that. Malaysia, perhaps. And then you can just kind of travel around and live in different locations. And that's probably what I'm going to do. To be honest, I will stick to the Philippines, though. This is what I've known for the last 8+ years. And this is where I will home base. And again, the reveal of where I'll be living and everything will be in about 6 days. But for me, that's one of the beauties of living out here in Southeast Asia is you can go pop over to Thailand, spend a couple of months there, and then come back and then go spend maybe a month in Da Nang in Vietnam, or you can go to Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia. There's just all kinds of places that you can go. And again, I've mentioned this, I will be spending much more time in the US, and I'll continue to be making videos about the Philippines and other places. Just what will happen is I will do a lot of video before I leave. That way I can still bring you Philippines content or other countries as well. A lot of people have expressed interest in other countries and they want maybe a comparison. And so I will start to do that, even thinking of possibly changing the channel name to incorporate more of Asia. You know, instead of just being Geo in the Philippines, maybe I'll change it to, I already have something in mind, but I don't know, I'll get your opinions on it. I'll change it to something where it will incorporate a multitude of different countries. And by the way, you know, when you travel, pick yourself up one of these pack-safe bags. It's got the wired mesh. You can lock the zippers. This can lock. And they are fantastic. You can pick one up on my website. Go to geointhephilippines.com, click on Geo Travel Essentials, and you can pick one up there. Plus all the things I highly recommend for living or traveling out to anywhere really in the world, but in particular like Southeast Asia. It also makes it very convenient when you're going through security to have everything in here. It's all locked up, place it in the tray, boom, pick it up and go. You don't need to empty your pockets and all that kind of stuff. So again, I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I'm going to do. And again, I have to spend more time in the US, or not have to, but I want to. And I also want to travel more and see more. You know, I've been in the Philippines 8 years, minus a 6-month stint in Vietnam. And I would like to venture out and see what else Southeast Asia has to offer. I'm not saying I would make a move. So if you want to do that, what is the best thing for you to do? Is it to maintain a home base and just pay rent? Is it better to just maybe get a place for 6 months? A 6-month lease or a month-to-month basis? You know, it just depends on your income and it depends on what you're most comfortable with. I would like to have some creature comforts, and this is why I like condo life. I feel much more secure to lock the door and go take off for a month somewhere versus renting out a house or something where I'm not quite sure about the security. You just never know. In a condo, you have much more security. For me, I will maintain a place year-round. I don't want to have to keep looking for new places. It's kind of a hassle after a while. But for some people, budget could be an issue. And so maybe you just want to come out here and do 3 months. And then you go to Thailand and you do 3 months and get a place for 3 months. and maybe you don't have a particular home base, but you just kind of do like a nomadic type lifestyle. And for some people, that's going to work out fine. In fact, I did that for a large portion of the time that I lived here. I just, again, I've said this many times, I would just, everything I owned, I would load up on the motorbike and I would take off. And that was it. Everything I owned, I could put right on my motorbike and go take off. And that was fine for a while. But I guess as I get older, I kind of want to have more creature comforts. I like a big TV. I like a full set of kitchen stuff that I can do some cooking at home. And I don't want to have to buy all of that over and over and over, because essentially that's what happens. Every time I would make a move or I would stay, example, I was in Davao for 3 months or 6 months, you'd end up going and buying different cooking utensils and all this stuff and all the herbs and spices for your cooking. And then guess what? You would just give it away or try to sell it, or a bunch of clothes. You just give it away. And then you'd be off to the next. And after a while, it becomes so wasteful. And I don't really want to do that anymore. So now this could work for snowbirds as well. If you're like living in the US or Canada and you know, hey, we have some beautiful springs, summers, and falls in the US. And so a lot of people just want to enjoy that, especially, you know, in the Midwest where I was from. A lot of people just really enjoy, you know, their camping and their fishing and all the things that go with, you know, the warm weather and that type of lifestyle. And then during the winter, they don't want to experience winter again, and they come out here. Now, I don't ever want to experience winter again, to be honest. Now, I probably will do maybe a Christmas this next year back home, but it probably will be a quick trip, because I am not a fan of winter. I'm not a fan of driving in snow or icy roads anymore. I don't want to freeze my ass off anymore. And so for me, that I'm done with that. Could I see myself for a whole summer in the US? Sure. Or maybe the fall. Yeah, I mean, I love that. I miss that, in fact, sometimes, the changing of the leaves and that crisp, cool air where it's not cold, but it's not warm. It's jacket or hoodie weather. You know, I miss that. But speaking of, today is actually very nice. It's nice and cool with a big breeze. So it feels really good today. We've had rain for like so long now recently. But yeah, I would love to hear from people down in the comments. You know, anybody out there doing what I'm thinking about doing? Do we have snowbirds who are living in the US part-time, or Canada or elsewhere, and then coming here in the winter times? Do we have anybody who's just kind of hopping around? Do you guys have a place year-long and use it as a home base and then just travel? Or do you just kind of go 3 months here, 3 months, 3 months? Again, I did that for a while, and for the time, it was great. It was fine. It was no problem whatsoever. But I'm kind of past that point in my life. I want to keep my possessions. I'm still kind of a minimalist, but I do want to keep some nice things. And I like the same home to come home to. I don't want to have to find a new place every time I come back to the Philippines. And so, again, it's going to depend on your pocketbook. Can you maintain 2 places at the same time? Now, that wouldn't be year-round. You know, it'd be about 70, 60% of the time I would be here, and then the other 40% I would be somewhere else. So I would have a double rent or something for approximately 1/3 of the year. So for me, that's going to be fine. That's going to be what I want to do. But again, I'm interested in everyone else on what their opinions are. What do you think about a channel name that would incorporate more of just traveling out in Southeast Asia? For me, I'm heavily considering it. I don't think it would affect the channel whatsoever. It'd still be pretty primarily the Philippines, but with a sprinkling of Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, maybe doing some comparison about what you can get for rent there and what you can get for rent here, what amenities you get there, food, you know. I think it'd be kind of interesting to give people a bit more perspective on, you know, maybe what they want to do. So Again, questions, comments down below. Don't forget, check out my website, geointhephilippines.com. Click on Geo Travel Essentials, where you can pick yourself up all the items I highly recommend for travel or living out in the Philippines or anywhere really around the world. Pick yourself up one of these pack-safe bags, probably one of the most important travel items that I've ever used and that I use on a daily basis now. I even have the backpack so I can lock that up, I can lock this up, and it's secure. If you don't have a hotel safe or something like that, those come in really handy. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see everyone next time. Ciao.